Hey friend, thanks so much for joining me on YouTube. The video that you're about to see was originally recorded via Facebook Live for our weekly Work It Wednesday series. Any links mentioned in the video will be down below in the description, so make sure you check those out. And I would love to have you join me over on our Facebook page for a weekly dose of tips and tricks for your direct sales business. Thanks for joining. Hello, you guys. Happy Wednesday. I'm very excited about this week. I'm excited about every week. I love it. So you guys, this week for Work It Wednesday, for our summer series, we are talking about 7 habits of successful direct sellers. So if we haven't met before, my name is Mary Haynes, and I am a direct sales strategist and coach at Doggone Virtual. And thank you so much for hanging out with me. Replay warriors, make sure you hit us with a replay in the comments. Thanks so much for coming back to hang out. Very, very excited about this topic tonight, you guys. Very excited. So we've got lots of things to talk about. There are lots of things that surround this topic of success, indirect sales, what defines success, like how in the world we even figure that out. So I want to give you like my 7 top habits of successful direct sellers, because you guys, hello, there are habits, okay? And when I say habits, I mean things that you do all the time. So these are things that you're doing consistently, things that you're doing you do all the time. It's like brushing your teeth, right? And so we have to have good business habits if we're going to grow our businesses, right? We have to have good business habits. So I'm going to break it down. There's 7 of them. It really wasn't hard to think of 7 because there are lots of habits that you need to have. And what I really want you to think about as we're going through the training tonight and afterwards, if you're kind of thinking, is as you're pondering what you want to change or what you want to do, is what are those bad habits that you may have gotten into? Those bad habits of, like, I don't know, eating chocolate cake before you go to bed. I don't know. Or not drinking enough water, or not getting out to exercise, or sleeping late, or any of those things that are bad habits, then we need to make sure we identify those, because we got to replace them with good habits, okay? So the first habit that we're going to talk about, prioritization. Prioritizing. So successful direct sellers prioritize. And what I mean by that is we do the most important things first. Well, how do we know what's important, Mary? Like, I hear that all the time. Well, I don't know what's important. I don't know which way I'm supposed to go. The most important things are the things that move you towards your goal. Okay, those are the things. They're income producing. They move you towards your goal. You guys, I'm gonna just step on some toes real quick, okay? So the most important things are not spending a bazillion hours creating pretty graphics. Nope, it's not a good idea. You could spend that time investing in a team member. You could spend that time developing a leader. You could spend that time booking more parties. So we really need to, a lot of times the prioritization affects those of us who are perfectionists. Guilty, okay? So we want everything to be perfect, and so we push off those really income producing, really, really important goal-centered tasks in favor of doing something that's more fun. Let's face it, more fun, or maybe a little bit easier, okay? Because it's hard. Like, the income producing stuff can be really hard, you guys. It can be long hours. It can be tedious. It can be a learning curve that you have to overcome. So prioritizing those most important things can be a little hard because we just don't want to do them. I'm guilty of this. If something's really hard, I tend to push it off. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it. It's hard, right? Hello. Okay, so number 1, prioritize. You must prioritize the most important income producing tasks first. Prioritization, okay? The other little menial things don't get done until those things get done. Number 2, learn continuously. You guys, successful business owners are always learning. I am always learning. I'm always investing in learning. I know a lot of things from experience, and I know a lot of things from being in the field, but I don't know what I don't know. I don't know everything. And so when I'm delving into something new, especially, I'm investing in courses, I'm investing in coaches, I'm investing in learning, I'm investing time, okay? Because I know that's where I need to go next. So I need to learn everything I can about that. You need to always be a student of the business. If you stop learning, you stop growing. So what are those areas where you can grow right now, where you can learn? Is it learning how to do better Facebook parties? Is it learning how to develop a team? Is it learning how to lead? Is it, learning how to do follow-up or learning time management? Okay. Are you constantly investing in that growth and learning and then implementing that as you go? Okay. And that does not mean learning 17 things at one time. This means really honing in and focusing on learning one thing, implementing that one thing, and then moving on to the next thing. Okay. Prioritization falls in there too. Number 3, consistency. You guys, successful direct sellers, successful business owners are consistent, like painfully consistent. Okay. I had someone tell me one time, recently actually, when I started this business, I set a goal. I said, I'm going to send an email every single week to my newsletter, my list. I'm going to give them value. I'm going to try to give a little training and give some free resources, things like that. Let them know what's going on, give a little encouragement, maybe give a little side eye, whatever that is, right? And so I've been consistent for the last year, sending an email every single week. And someone said to me, like, I'm impressed with how consistent you are. Was nothing to be impressed about. It's just that every Monday I know I got to send an email. Okay. I know it's not a choice. It's not a choice for me to send it or not send it. I have to send it because I set that expectation and I want to be consistent. So posting consistently on social media, that's about consistency. Offering the hosting opportunity consistently so you're not a binge booker. Being present on social media. So not just posting and forgetting about it, but actually engaging with your followers. That takes consistency, you guys. Offering the business opportunity to people, that takes consistency. So we have to do it all the time. Otherwise we end up being binge bookers and binge everything because we forgot to do it for 3 weeks. And now we have to go fill our calendars back up, or, oh no, there's a recruiting special. Let me go find some people to recruit. No, if you were consistently offering, you wouldn't have to find people. You'd have a whole list of people to follow up with. So we have to consistently do those things. For example, here's an example. So my week, I did a multi-day Facebook party. So Wednesday, Thursday, I had to think about it. Wednesday, Thursday of every week were my booking days. Those were my personal business days. Those were the days when I was following up with my guests and I was offering the opportunity to host. I was offering the business opportunity consistently every single week. And guess what? I never had to binge book. I never had to find parties because I was consistently offering. Some weeks were higher than others, obviously, right? I was consistently training my team. I was consistently developing leaders. I was consistently learning and testing and trying new things, okay? So this has to be something that we get into, you guys, and it takes practice. Don't try to overhaul your entire schedule in one day. Pick one thing that you're going to be consistent with, and then once it becomes like brushing your teeth or riding a bike, then it's just part of who you are. It's just part of who you are. Successful business owners, direct sellers are also goal-oriented. Now, I know I'm going to get some side eye on this one because some of you guys don't like to set goals. But here's the deal, you guys. Goals are so important. My husband actually said this the other day, and I thought it was really powerful. So he was supposed to go on this really big life, like huge experience with Boy Scouts. He was in Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts when he was little. Our boys have been in it for a long time. And so our oldest son is finally got to the point where he could go on this high adventure trip to Philmont, which is in New Mexico, which is like the big deal, one of the big high adventure places for Boy Scouts. Like you have to get on a waiting list. It's a really big deal. Well, he had to lose some weight and he had to get in shape for this. Okay. So he had a goal. So when this trip got canceled because of COVID, he kind of lost all motivation to keep working out and to keep watching what he ate. And he said, I lost my goal. Like my goal disappeared. And so he was so consistent and so focused on getting to that goal that it didn't matter if I threw ice cream in his face or tried to give him a donut. He wasn't going to eat it because he knew he had to get in shape to go hiking through the mountains for 12 days, right? Backpacking through the mountains. So again, you guys, goal focus. So what are the goals? I know, I keep telling him, Becky, he was struggling for a little bit. He's back on the wagon now, but he was struggling for a little bit. So always setting goals to have something to measure, you guys. This is so, so important. So even though, you know, I've set goals in my business and I've reached those goals, then I set, what's the next goal? What's the next thing that I'm striving for? What's the next, you know, rung on the ladder? What's the next number that I want to see? It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's followers on social media, whether it's you know, posting consistently, or going live an extra time, going live on your business page once a week for a month. Whatever it is, you guys, there's got to be some sort of goal, some sort of something that we're striving towards. So what are your goals right now? Are you setting some goals? We're coming out of summer and we're going to start getting into that fabulous, magical fall selling season. But you guys, you got to do the work now. Like, you've got to do the work now. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. Like, we've got to do the work, and we got to set the goals, and we got to get the things in place so that you can actually have a magical fall selling season. Otherwise, you end up just starting over. Okay, so set those goals now. Where do you want to be at the end of the year? Where do you want to be at the end of this month? Where do you want to be at the end of next month? Yes, keep your eye on the prize, girl. Keep your eye on the prize. Exactly. Okay. Business owners, direct sellers, we are proactive and not reactive. Woo! Okay, this is a big one. All right, this is one thing that I did while I was in the field, and I still preach this, and I'll preach this like I'm going to get tattooed on my forehead. Okay, you guys, be consistently checking your calendar. Okay, calendar checks is what I call it. Every 2 weeks, and I know some of you guys still aren't doing this, so I'm going to say it again, and just in case people in the back didn't hear me, calendar checks. Every 2 weeks, you should be checking your calendar for the next 30 days to see if your business, if you have enough activity to hit your 30-day goals. If you don't have enough activity, you need to be proactive and make sure you do something about it now. Okay. Reactive is when you look at your calendar and you're like, oh, or you don't pay attention to your calendar, or you look at it and you're like, nah, okay, I'll fix that later. But then 30 days goes by and all of a sudden you're staring at an empty calendar. You have nothing there, right? So we've got to make sure we're proactive, that we're looking ahead a little bit, that we're making some plans. Oh, I want to do some vendor events to grow my business in the fall. Start booking those now. Start looking for those now. Be proactive instead of hearing about one on Facebook. Oh, yeah, I meant to sign up for that one. Shoot, I missed the deadline. Right? Be proactive. Go find them now. If you can't find them, go ask some friends. Be proactive about it. Start thinking through if there's a specific channel that you want to learn, social media channel, or there's a course that you want to take. Figure out when you're going to take it. Be proactive about it. All right. Number 6, successful direct sellers are not afraid to fail. We're just not afraid to fail, right? Failing is just, I hate that word because it's not a failure unless you look at it as a failure. It is a learning experience. So one of the things I always did with my team, you know, if we were, Facebook's always changing, let's just face it, right? And so I was constantly testing something to do with virtual parties, always testing ways to improve. If I'm, you know, what if I replace this? What if I change this around? What's it going to do, right? But I was never afraid to fail. I was wanting to learn. What's the best practice on this? How can I make this better? I wasn't afraid of failing. I was afraid of not knowing, really. I was afraid of not improving, you guys. I was afraid of not growing. So don't be afraid of the failure. Be afraid of not moving forward. That's what I would be more afraid of. You know, one thing I asked, I've asked in some booking training I've been doing is, are you more afraid of asking for a booking or asking for someone to host a party? Or are you more afraid of an empty calendar? I'm scared to death of an empty calendar. Not gonna lie, scared to death of an empty calendar. Like, you give me, like, that would make me freak out. So I'm more afraid of that, which pushes me to do other things. Fear can play crazy things in our mind. Like, it can do crazy things for us. So make sure that you're not afraid to fail, you guys. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to try something new. Don't be afraid to test something out. Don't be afraid of the no. I'm more afraid of the results if I don't do the things. That's what I'm more afraid of. Okay. So you guys push forward, do the daily activities, but don't be afraid to fail. Like, it's just learning. If you look at it as failure, it's failure. If you look at it as learning, it's growth. Okay. And the last one, this is totally going to step on some toes. Sorry about that. Successful direct sellers surround themselves with like-minded achievers. Yeah, like-minded achievers. One thing I hear a lot in my coaching conversations is you guys are attached to people that are not growing. You're like, well, I want to grow and I want to do these amazing things, but when I ask about who your support system is or who you surround yourself with, it's not like-minded people. It's not people who want to grow. It's not people who are challenging you. It's not people who are setting a pace that challenge you to keep up with them. Okay? We've got to surround ourselves with people who are like-minded. And if you don't know those people, go find them. Go start building relationships with them. Because I can guarantee you, they're probably sitting in like your company Facebook groups and stuff like that. Go look for the rock stars. If you want to grow, go follow the people that are growing. Yes, like-minded achievers. Yes. So go find those people, okay, that want to grow, not the people that want to stay still. If they're content being where they are and they're content doing what they're doing, great. You know, if that's where you're content, fabulous. You guys stay besties, right? But I've noticed over time, I have my very best friends and I have a very small circle of those. But I've also noticed over time that my business relationships change, okay? The Stephen Covey book. Yes, I love it. I love it. I love Covey books. They're so good. All right. So when we surround ourselves with like-minded people, all right, I've noticed that as my business has changed, even when I was in the field and then now, as my business changes, my circle of influence changes. Okay. So there have been times where I've had to say, this circle isn't helping me grow anymore. I got to go find a new circle. I got to go find different people. So then I go start, when I take a course, I go network in those other course groups. I go find other people who are doing the things that I want to do, and I follow them and I build relationships with them and I learn from them. So I watch what they're doing. You guys, that's what we have to surround ourselves with. If we surround ourselves with the negative Nellies and the people who are constantly, bringing us down, then we're going to be down on ourselves. We're going to be down on our business. So make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people who are where you want to be or who are going where you want to be. Make sense? Because we've got to, you guys. Otherwise, there's nobody to push us. There's nobody to encourage us. There's nobody to say, hey, girl, come on. We're still doing this thing. Let's go, when we've had a bad day or when something doesn't work, right? So you've got to have those people in your life. Otherwise, you guys, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work, okay? So that's one thing that most people don't do. So let's review real quick. So prioritize your time, prioritize your energy. Most important, income producing. That's first, every single day, okay? Now, obviously there's deadline you got to tackle. You can do the little deadline first. We just finished Procrastinate on Purpose in our membership group last month. And, Roy Vaden talks about this, okay? Learn continuously, always be learning. And this goes back to surrounding yourself with people who are like-minded achievers, right? So we're learning from each other. I have some of my very best friends in indirect sales, and then, even after that we have monthly conversations. We have almost daily. So we have monthly conversations where we are constantly challenging and pushing each other and brainstorming and coming up with stuff, okay? So make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people like that. Be consistent in your asking, be consistent in your presence on social media, be consistent in your follow-up, be consistent in all of it. If you do it continuously, you're never at a point where you have nothing, okay? Goal-oriented. Make sure you're goal-oriented, you guys. Make sure you got something that you're striving for. Keep your eye on the prize, as Shalise says. Keep your eye on it. Being proactive instead of reactive. We got to have the goals to know what we need to be proactive towards, right? Don't react when you have nothing. Be proactive about making sure you have something. Be proactive in making sure that if this thing doesn't work, what am I going to do about it? Have a plan B, right? And then don't be afraid to fail. It's not only failure if you call it failure. Learn from those things. It's learning and growing if you're learning and growing, right? And then you guys surround yourselves with like-minded achievers. Surround yourself with them. That's your core people. That's your people that those are like your business besties, and you're trudging through the trenches together, because you guys, business can be hard. I ain't gonna lie. You got hard days. May have hard months, but you got to surround yourself with people who are going to pick you up and who are going to say, psh, psh, girl, snap out of it. We're still going. Let's go. Let's keep doing our things, because we know consistency pays off and being proactive pays off. It's going to pay off down the road. All right. So you guys, if we haven't hung out before, make sure you go over to the website. There's some free resources over there. If you're struggling with specific topics, go to the Direct Sellers Toolbox. It's the freebies at the top. Go get some freebies, go get some printables, read some articles. Okay, make sure you're constantly learning and growing, right? And then we just published the August post planner. Don't spin your wheels trying to create content that's only going to be seen for 24 to 48 hours, you guys. Go look at the planner, use the planner if that's an area where you struggle with. If you can make content quickly, run with it, right? But if it's something you struggle with, we've already got the free resources there for you, okay? And then if you haven't thought about it, come join us in the membership group because we're having a blast over there. And next month, you guys, if you need a shot in the arm, next month we're doing a back to school, back to business boot camp, and I'm so stinking excited. We're going to be digging into all the things, okay? Oh, yay, Shauna. Yay. Love it. I love that. So you really helped me step up my game. Love it. Okay. But if you haven't joined the membership group, come on over and hang out with us. We would love to have you. Just go to doggonevirtual.com/membership and you can check all the details. All right, you guys, have a fabulous rest of your evening. Have a fabulous rest of your evening. And go do the things that successful people do, you guys. Go do the things. I would love to hear about it, okay? All right, you guys, have a fabulous night, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.